Hello, how is it going? So, if you have not yet signed up and you're wanting to erase some of your biggest blockers to easy work, if you're struggling, if you're feeling like you have to work so hard and you're exhausted and you're caught in the idea of perfectionism, either because of your supervisor or your manager in the past, or even your parents' influence, and you're so caught up in perfectionism that it stops you from moving forward. It pressurizes you in creating everything to be perfect, and when it doesn't get perfect, you're just so hard on yourself. If you're feeling that bubbling, like I can't do this perfectly, or I have to work harder and harder and harder, and your solution to more success is working harder and spending more time and more energy, and you might even burn yourself out, you might even get sick, and you feel that you're wasting time being sick, wasting time recovering, or you might even have a relief. If you're in that kind of a hamster wheel and you're feeling that you're just so suffocated and you don't see the results or the success that you're looking for, or you see it but it's at the expense of such hard freaking work, then you want to be getting our recording and our replays for the session we're running in about 20 minutes. It's called Workaholic Healing. It doesn't have to be hard. You can get the same result without killing yourself. And the reason that you're doing this right now is because in your mind and in your system there is so much programming from your culture, from your ancestors, from your parents, from all along every media, your colleagues, they're all in the same hamster wheel. So in order to break out of this comfort zone of workaholism, hard work equals success, this equation, if you want to break out of it and you trust that you can still, and you want to get into a place where you trust that you can still perform well despite the self-pressure, self-judgment, I remember when I was a little kid and I would play piano, and when I didn't get a thing right, I didn't get a measure right, I would get so pissed off. I would scrunch my hands and I would crumple the entire note, and I'd sometimes even rip it, and I would scream at myself and I'd hit myself on the head, and it would be so violent. If you're treating yourself like that, and I realized that I was treating myself like that whenever I didn't get something that I wanted, and whenever I didn't work hard enough, I would treat myself with so much pressure to force myself to get the result. And so while that worked for about 20 years of my life, the last 10 years of it, or the following 10 years of it in my 30s, I didn't want that anymore. I felt like I'm an adult now and I get to choose how I want work to feel like in my body. And so I did so much work in the last 15 years. I even got a disease for 15 years, from this pressure. So I realized that I needed some better, healthier relationships with work. And it wasn't just about stopping doing something, because that's just a habit change. It's about rewiring your entire system in an easy, fast, efficient way that doesn't threaten you, so it doesn't threaten your identity. So we're doing that in about 20 minutes, so hop on. The links are in the Eventbrite in our cover page, and if you're watching this, the recordings work just as well. Usually about 60% of my participants are listening to the recording, and they're listening to it over and over and over again. Hey Jae-yoon, hey Fat Peter Lee. So get the recordings, get this in your hands. It really is something that has transformed the way I relate to the idea of self-pressure and self-judgment. And our voices in our own heads are the biggest ones that are beating ourselves down. So if you're feeling that other people are giving you pressure, it wouldn't be pressure unless you interpret it as pressure. So get in the class. Get the recording if you can't make it. both are just as powerful. All right? Mwah! I really want to help you on this. And I really, really want to see you release that handcuff to the idea that you have to suffer in order to perform well at work. If that is how you're managing your time, and if that is how you're relating to giving, contributing, being of value. All right? Talk to you soon. Mwah.